We were young. We were scared.
While the Conjuring universe has had some amazing monsters, what if one of the creepiest monsters from The Conjuring 2 had gotten his own movie? That's right, the Crooked Man, the breakout monster from the film, was meant to be the next big spin-off in the Conjuring universe. It had a script, a vision, and even an actor ready to return. But after years in development hell, it was officially canceled. Let's dive into the unmade film, what it would have looked like, and why it never made it to the big screen. What was The Conjuring, The Crooked Man? The Crooked Man spinoff was designed as a dark fairy tale movie, separate in tone from the more grounded Annabelle films. The plot would have explored the cursed origins of the crooked nursery-rhyme toy, showing how a widowed father and his daughter accidentally unleashed the demon from an antique music box. Unlike typical slashers, this story leaned on surreal imagery, distorted mirrors, endless hallways, and reality bending as the Crooked Man stalked his prey. The father-daughter duo were the emotional heart of the film, struggling with grief while being tested by the demon's tricks. Their fight led them into a rhyme-driven nightmare world, where every spoken word warped reality. The climax ended with the Crooked Man trying to claim the child's soul, while the Warrens appeared briefly as guides. But this was meant to be the family's fight, not a typical Ed and Lorraine rescue. In The Conjuring's unmade spin-off, The Crooked Man, who was likely to appear? Javier Botet, who physically portrayed the Crooked Man in The Conjuring 2, was set to return. Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, famous for playing Ed and Lorraine Warren, were rumored to cameo, keeping continuity with the universe. A main character, the widowed father who had to protect his daughter from the Crooked Man, had a studio wish list, reportedly including Dermot Mulroney and Sean Bean. The young daughter, casting would have focused on a fresh face in the 10 to 12 age range. The Crooked Man, The Conjuring's failed spin-off, first entered development in 2016, right after the success of The Conjuring 2. James Wan and producer Peter Safran revealed that Warner Brothers had approved 2 spin-offs, The Nun and The Crooked Man. A script was quickly commissioned from Mike Van Ways, with Wan teasing it would feel more like a dark fairy tale than a traditional Conjuring film. At this stage, everything was confirmed. New Line had publicly acknowledged the project, and Javier Botet himself expressed excitement about reprising his role. But almost immediately, script problems slowed progress. Confirmed reports from Wan said that the drafts were taking a long time to get right. Insiders suggested the early versions leaned too heavily into fantasy. Executives grew uneasy about how different it felt compared to the grounded supernatural tone of the rest of the universe. Wan himself admitted the script was difficult to crack, and by 2019, momentum had already stalled. At the same time, other Conjuring spin-offs began to take priority. The Nun was fast-tracked and released in 2018, becoming the highest-grossing entry in the entire franchise. Annabelle Comes Home followed in 2019. Both films performed well financially, which confirmed the studio's belief that these sub-franchises were safer bets. While this shift in focus was confirmed by box office results, there were also rumors that the studio considered shelving The Crooked Man indefinitely. Casting rumors also floated around during this limbo period, eyeing familiar faces like Dermot Mulroney or Sean Bean for the father role. And some reports suggested rewrites tried to steer the tone back to gothic horror after executives felt it had strayed too far into fantasy. None of this was officially confirmed, and it mostly circulated in fan and industry chatter, making it difficult to separate fact from speculation. Finally, by 2021, James Wan admitted the project was parked, and in 2022, he officially confirmed the spin-off was no longer moving forward. Producer Peter Safran described it bluntly: the film was a victim of development hell. Studio energy shifted entirely to The Nun 2 and the upcoming Conjuring Last Rites. While Wan left the door open for the Crooked Man to reappear in cameo form, the long-discussed solo outing was officially dead. So there you have it. The Crooked Man was meant to be a surreal fairy tale horror within the Conjuring universe, starring Javier Botet and possibly even featuring the Warrens. But creative struggles, competing projects, and shifting studio priorities left the film trapped in development hell until it was finally canceled. So what do you think? Should Warner Brothers have made The Crooked Man, or was it smarter to focus on The Nun and the mainline Conjuring films? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the movies that never happened, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more Beyond the Grave movies.